Good morning, people. Today's walk's going to be the Greater Grisedale Horseshoe. 8 to 10 hours, 8 Wainwrights, around 1600 metres of ascent and about 13.5 miles. So we've been putting this one off for a while, just due to the fact that Helvellyn started edging on it. As you can see, Dom laughing in the background. She doesn't fancy Strad Edge, even though that was her first mountain years back. Just with the popularity of walking nowadays, it's always full on the weekend. And luckily we're both off today, and it's a Monday, so we've decided to come up. As you can see around us, the weather's fantastic. It's meant to be good today, no wind or anything, and sunny. So we thought, why not? Our first one of the day is going to be Birkhouse Moor, and you can actually see people ascending up. Shows how popular these mountains are nowadays, that there's people out on a Monday. It's been quite tough coming up there. I don't know if you can see, but just below. It's been straight up. Yeah, it's a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be. But at least the summer's on its way in anyway. So the summer Birkhouse Moor is just here, and you can see Casticam, Helvellyn, Strad Edge just come into view. And Strad Edge looks quite empty. It's only like 9:30 now, and the snow's pretty much cleared on Helvellyn. So positive, but we need to go right. Birkhouse Moor, 718 metres, first one of the day. Look at these views around here, man. Unbelievable. Ullswater there. See Place Fell. Just make out Hallenfell in the distance there. Belter. Look at that. Helvellyn looks absolutely sick today as well. What a day for it. What a day, man. Can't believe how good it is. So just cracking straight on to Strad Edge now. Looks quiet. Seen a few people about this morning, but not many up here. I'd rather be up here when it's quiet than on the weekend and there's trains of people. You can see a lot of the ice still hasn't thawed out. So we're going to have to be careful on Strad Edge. See a few people on Strad Edge now, and this guy we've just been talking to. So we're on Strad Edge, and you can see there's an easier path down there where Dom's going. She come up then, doesn't really like the exposure up here, so there is actually a path that runs and gets to the middle. If you're worried about anything like this, you'll be good. I like coming up here, it's fun. So I'm just going to skip across it now. So Helvellyn summit's here, and we're heading over there to Dollywaggon and Nethermost in a bit, and there's where we'll be coming back down later on. But it's a good day to come up Stradon Edge. So you can just see Dom in the distance. Bits of ice though, just gotta be careful. So you can see the Pat Dom's just come down and it meets up with this one, and probably about halfway across it now. And again, most people just go up this left rocky part and Dom's just going to stay on the right. It's more safe obviously. Slightly. So you can see Dom's patch to the left now, and just beyond here is the chimney. It's a bit of a climb down, but you can always go that way. So there's basically the last part, the chimney, before you make your descent up. what you've got to do for the YouTube video. He's got this little climb up, not major. I think that took about 20-25 minutes and going at a slow pace. So it's up to you. If you like it, go for it, but if you don't, take your time. But fantastic, man. And yeah, I'm gonna make our way up now. Just swerve, climbing the rocks behind us. Too tired, man, starving. And I've done it loads of times, so I like that section. Oh, that section looks cool. That's just pointless if you don't need to. You can just come this way and up on a little path. So you can carry on over here, but obviously we've just come up the right there. Well, it's done now, isn't it? It's fair to easy shit. Yes, kid, yeah.
You like dying?
You can just see the shelter where everyone's sitting. We're gonna have some lunch in there in a minute. But the summit is at the back where that guy is, in the distance. Helvellyn, 949 metres, second one of the day. Probably the most popular mountain in the lakes. See us with a ledge. And when we come up there, summer shelter's just past where that guy is. And we are heading that way. So that must be about my 7th, 8th time summiting Helvellyn. It was my first ever Wainwright about 15 years ago. Most of the time I've been up here, it has been as clear. But fantastic up here, man, class. Next one's Nethermost Pike, and we're about 3.5 hours deep, so gonna be a long day this one. The funny thing is, we've done walks in the past before we used to get into the Wainwright bagging, and we've probably walked over these when we didn't have a clue. All we knew was like Helvellyn and stuff. Our times have changed. We're nearly finished on the Wainwright, and it's like we might have bagged this Nethermost, I don't know. I have done Dollywaggon before though, back in the day, but we're gonna go over them two now. So these three are fairly close to each other, and then we've got a big drop off after Dollywaggon. Different view of Starting Edge. Hiya, mate. Nethermost Pike, 891 metres. You can just see the summit shelter behind me of Helvellyn. So it's fairly close there. And you can just see Stradon Edge there. But yeah, that's a fairly close one. And we thought we bagged this in the past, but we haven't, because there's another path just literally below, and we've walked the other way round every time we've been up here. But that's the third one of the day. Nice and easy one for you. This summit's called High Crag, 884 metres, but not a Wainwright. You pass it on the way to Dollywaggon. Hiya, mate. I think that's the cairn. Oh, the views here, man. Dollywaggon Pike, 858 metres, fourth one. I was saying that these are quite close, which they are, but they're not, if you know what I mean. You can see Stradon Edge there, so Helvellyn's just above. And the third one we done was there. But look at the views. Unreal, man. What a day. So we've just noticed on the map, the post, the route was asking us to go down past Grisedale town and back up there, but then we noticed there's a path straight over and up, so it makes more sense rather than going all the way down that way and round the town. Don't know why he's went that way, but we're going to go this way, and it joins onto that path what they wanted you to go on anyway. It's just steep, this one, compared to the other path. Maybe that's why he went the other way. I can see the reason why the guy had actually went round that way and not down this, because how steep it is. You can just see it's quite muddy. There's a bit of a path to the right. Got to like strafe down it. It is listed as a path, but look at the steepness. But it's getting us there, and our next summit, seat Sandals, up. It does look quite boggy at the bottom now. We've had to get these sticks out to help us. And we summit and then come back round the town and then up to St Sunday. Maybe this is why these in the vars coming this way. The path is flooded. It's not that bad actually. You just stick to this little path here. So you can see where we come off the steep path, and it did ask us to zigzag down there and across, but we come down there and then a nice steep ascent back up, and morale's a bit low here. It's quite warm with it being sunny, tiring. That ascent has been fun up to the seat Sandal, man. Steep and muddy, and there's a lot of ice and just slipped over then, and it's covered black mud. But we're not far off the summit. It's just the sun's taking it out of me, yeah. Just over the top of there, and then we're going to be heading back down. Seat Sandal, 736 metres, fifth one of the day. That was not fun coming up here. You can just see Dollywaggon up the top of that scree path. That's where we came down. And that's your summit. There's a little shelter there where a few people are sitting. having a lunch. But yeah, got some good views again now, can't complain. Just knackered off that, man. Tiring. I'm not looking forward to St Sunday now. Been on that a few times and it's not small. But yeah, 3 more left. We're about 5.5 hours in now, so hopefully get round and around 8, maybe a bit more. Not another fun path down here either. Morale's low here. Looking at Sunday in the background, how big it is. One of those days, man. Lack of sleep. And driving here at all hours this morning, so we could avoid all the people on Stradin Edge. As an out. So we were following a path for ages all the way up. We decided to take the one to the left and it's like non-existent, and it's ended and we need to just be up here. There's an actual main path, so unfortunately we're going to have to scale this moss. There's a couple of people in front of us done the same, they're up there. So we made it, don't know why, but it made us come all the way round, and we were heading past the rocks below and I thought, that's not happening. But we're on anyway, we're back on. We're not far off Sunday. We're close. I haven't got much motivation today. We've been walking for about 6 hours as well. But you've only got 3 left, and once we're on this, it's all downhill from there. Pretty much levelling out now. I think you can just see the summit coming into view. It's one or the other, isn't it? Sunday Crag, 841 metres. I actually think that little one's the summit, come to think about it, on the GPS. It's one or the other anyway, so I've been to both. 6th one of the day, 2 more to go, and we're dropping off big time now. The other 2, I think one's in like the 600s, and then the other ones are below that, but just glad to get this done, out of the way soon. I don't know whether the motivation's not there, because I've done a lot of these fells before, even this St Sunday. I've done this about 3 times. It's not a new man, and it's been a slog. You can see where we come from this morning. There's Helvellyn, Stradin Edge, and we've come all the way across and over. It's a big walk, this one. Apparently there's like 3 paths down here, like non-existent. That's the main one there, actually, on the left. Went off course a bit there. You can just see there in the distance Angletown Pikes and Place Fella head in the distance over Ullswater. One of the best wild camps, that man. Easy to get to as well. So we're finally off St Sunday. Hasn't been good on the knees, if I'm honest.
Morale is low.
And that morale's not gotten any better. It's we've even had a scran and it's just not working. But anyway, Birks is up here. And I thought we had no elevation left, but clearly we've got a little bit. Wainwright had said literally there's no interest here. At least people have put a little cairn there. Birks, 622 metres, 7th one of the day. You can see where we've come off St Sunday there. Yeah, nothing really interesting. Even Wainwright had said Birks is not that interesting. So I don't know why you put it in the book. But anyway, apart from what I would say, look at the views. You can't complain. Ullswater, Kenmure Horseshoe at the back. Red Screes, loads mate. But yeah, the views are alright. So we're just gonna head straight to the last one now, and that's us for the day. So the last of the day is just here somewhere, Arniston Crags. Looks like we're heading down quite a bit, a few hundred metres. So the route had you following this like rocky wall, whatever it is. Could have went on the path, but the route cut it out. You got to cross over and you can see the path running up the sides of the wall. I think that's a quad track, to be honest. Path's just above anyway. You can see how much you've dropped down now. Oh, people must come this way, it's a ladder, and I think that's to get an animal through, I'm assuming. There you go. Ah, it runs down to Ullswater. I think the car's literally parked there as well, by that building. But we have to head up for the last bit of ascent. So our last summit's just up there. It's a bit of a bog fest around here. You can see there's water everywhere, like. That'll climb up and we're done. And you can just see below there where this building is. My car's just parked there. You see a few of us. So not too far back. And it did suggest parking in Glenridden, so luckily I parked down here. But obviously it adds a bit onto the walk at the start. Arniston Crag, 433 metres, last Wainwright of the day. I'm so glad that's over and done with. Mate, that's been a slog, that. To be fair, actually a decent little fell, I'm surprised. A belter. That's a good little stone, that, isn't it? Sweet, man. I can't believe this one. Callie's cobble, sweet there. It's been a long day, this, man. We're not far off 9 hours and we've got maybe like 30-40 minutes back to car, so it's been long. And to be honest, we haven't had many. We haven't had a lot of breaks, but it's been one of them. But anyway, at least it's out of the way now, 8 more in the bag. We've both done a few of these fells before, and I think that's more like I've done about 4 today rather than the 8, but it's what it is. So we actually just found that in the bag before from Melbreak, so we'll leave it here. Adds one to their little collection. It's done the rounds, that one, mate. All the way over to Batterdale from Loweswater. Sick. We were just saying then, this has been a great little Wainwright to finish on as well. Very surprised. Don't even really want to go down to be car now after sitting here. I can't believe that view. The view of Ullswater is fantastic. Boss man. Even up there towards the Kirkstone and that. Let's head down to the car. Right people, the Greater Grisedale Horseshoe, let's get to it. Shoulder parking for this one. So the route actually suggested we park in Glenridden, but we decided to park in Patterdale as it's only up the road and this is cheaper, this car park. If you search a place called the King George Playing Fields, so as you can see here, Google haven't updated this since 2010. But this now, as you would have seen on the video, was a massive car park. He charges £5 a day with an honesty box. We'll call it recommended £5, but you can put whatever you want in. It goes to some charity within the Lake District, so I'd rather give him £5 than go and pay one of the other car parks. In the background there is the last fella of the day, Arniston Crag. It's an ideal starting point, but I'll show you where the other car park is just in case. So there's the car park I parked at, and here is the Glenridden car park just up the road. As you can see, plenty of spots, very popular. That car park's actually massive, so you could start the walk from there, it's up to you. You can see loads of spaces, but to be honest, so the reason I didn't park there is they're now charging £8 for the full day. So you've got a lot of people cashing in on the walkers nowadays. Even the guy at the playing fields with the honesty box, he was charging £2 a day, probably about 5 years ago. And yeah, he's only put it up to a fiver, but even these big car parks, the controlled ones, are, in my own opinion, £8 a bit steep. I'm assuming a lot of people who are watching this video are travelling from all over the country. You've got to take into account your petrol, your foods, etc. I think £8 pushing it, if you ask me. So I'd rather give back to other people than give it to these parking companies. But you've got two choices there. But my own opinion, park at the honesty one on the King George playing field. You come straight off the fell into the car park, so it's a win-win. And from looking at the route, I took about a mile off the route, so I think it's better going that way. But there's plenty of options and there's tons of space in both car parks. So either or. But anyway, let's get to the route. So you can see my starting point here. So because I know this area quite well, I ended up just making my own path up, looking at the GPS and basically joining onto the route that I downloaded. So I had to come from Patterdale, come through a section here, which was quite boggy, to join onto this main path up to the first fell. And the GPS file I was following was starting here in this car park and basically coming up here. So I ended up just meeting up with that route. So nice and straightforward from Patterdale, and I'd suggest starting it there if I'm honest. From this section up to Birkhouse Moor, quite steep actually that section. You would have seen on the video, it was like big steps, nice and easy rocks. I prefer them paths, to be honest. That's what's good about this area, because a lot of people come down. It's well maintained, this area. Yeah, Birkhouse Moor. I'd passed this plenty of times in the past and never summited it. You would have seen big cairn on it and some good views around. You can see over to Ullswater. And from there, it's just a straight walk over the Stradon Edge. And basically, as I'd explained in the video, we put this walk off for a long time, mainly to the fact that Dom isn't a big fan of like anything with exposure. She never done sharp edge when we done the Blencathra walk. But with that one, there was actually another path up there. But with Helvellyn, unless you're ascending from Thirlmere or coming up past the youth hostel, the only real way over to there is Stradon Edge or Swiddle Edge. We were both off work on a Monday, so we said we'll do it on a Monday morning and there won't be anyone up there. Turns out to only be one person I seen on the edge just before us, a guy I was speaking to. If it was a weekend, you'd be expecting it to be full. What she doesn't particularly like is when there's groups of people and they're sort of pressing on behind you. A lot of people go across the rocks, and obviously if you fall, probably not going to end well. So there's a path that runs to the right of Stradon Edge. There is exposure to the side, but you're probably not going to fall off that path. You can just basically stay below the rocks. I was probably, 20, 30 feet above Dom, if that. It's easy if you want to do it that way, and it basically gets to like the centre, and then it swings over to the left side before the chimney path that people climb down on Stradon Edge. If you like a bit of danger, go across the rocks, but if you want to keep it nice and simple and fairly safe, just stay on that path. And you would have seen me climbing down the chimney part. It's just a little climb down. I've seen a few people panic on that, to be honest. You would have seen me climbing up and down, and to me it doesn't really bother me. And I've seen people on Stradon Edge and they've sort of froze, so it's good that you've got options. If I'm honest, I've been up it quite a few times now. I'd say 5 or 6 times, and it wasn't as fun as in the past, but it was good to get on a quiet day anyway. And Dom sort of got over their fear. Once you come off the chimney part, you've got a scramble up to the summit, and again you can climb over the rocks or you can take a path. I couldn't be bothered scrambling the rocks. I was quite hungry at that point, so I ended up skirting the path part with Dom. And yeah, Helvellyn, probably the most popular mountain in the lakes. And yeah, the shelter, great to have your lunch in. And the summit is just a bit further on. And Helvellyn's actually 950, although I thought it was 949, as I seen that when I was tracking the route. But yeah, it turned out to be 950. Boss Mountain, views all over the place. You can see all the way to Scafell Pike and that in the distance. Great mountain, I can see why it's so popular. I don't get as excited as I used to going up there, as it's my most summited mountain, and probably that would have been my first Wainwright, probably about 15 years ago. But anyway, yeah, needs to be done again. From there, I did say Nethermost Pike's close, probably 15 minutes away. Another good little mountain, although I'd never actually summited that in the past. I'd always took this path to the left here, the green one, and that's slightly below, so it's easily missed if you're coming from Grisedale Townways or Dollywaggon. You can walk past it, nice and simple to get over to, easy paths. And then you pass this one, High Crag, not a Wainwright, and then you're over to Dollywaggon, which I have summited in the past, but needs must, done it again. And then from Dollywaggon, you come down to a post. The route has actually said, come down this zigzaggy path down to Grisedale and follow the green path up to Sandal. But we looked from the post and we could see this path here running down and on the GPS. So I said, why not try that? It's probably quicker. But as you would have seen on the video, it was very, very steep. Luckily, we were carrying our walking poles. They helped a lot because it was like that at points and quite slippy. I probably suggest going down a zigzaggy path to Grisedale Town, but it's up to you. That probably is a bit quicker, the steep one, but it's not the best path in the world. And then this area, very boggy, man. There's a lot of water around there. And up to Sandal, that area is very steep, man. It's quite tired at that point, and getting up there wasn't fun. And Sandal, quite a few people up there at that point. In the day, it was just sheltering, a lot of people were sitting around there. Good little fella, had a proper decent cairn on it. But we were just tired at that point. And then from there, you basically come back down to the town level again. So you drop down off a steep little section here and past Grisedale Town. Love that town, man. Definitely on the list to wild camp in the future. I've passed that so many times. Although there was no one camping there, it is very popular in the summer. When we were walking up towards St Sunday, we probably should have took this path to the right here onto the main path, and I could see a path on the left. So you can see here, I took a path to the left, and Dom had said to me, why don't we go on the one to the right? And I thought, the left one will be sweet. So I did say in the video, we'd sort of lost the path and I had to ascend some moss to get back up. And although, yeah, it looks like we're next to a path, there was non-existent, mate. And we should have just took the one to the right, but easy mistake made. And there was a couple in front of us, sort of not following them, but was watching where they were going, so weren't really taking much notice. I would suggest taking this path to the right up to the main path, because that doesn't exist. From this part, the ascent's not very much up to Sunday, although, yeah, from the town, you have got to go up a few hundred metres. And yeah, you can see St Sunday, it's got a few cairns on it. And I'm not sure which was the main cairn, was it the bigger one or the first one I walked past? Even on the day I was confused. Again, I've summited that a few times in the past, good 3 or 4 times. And yeah, I like it up there, it's quite flat and rocky. Good one to summit that. And then coming down from Sunday to Birks, that was bad on the knees, if I'm honest. And you would have seen Birks, Wainwright had even said, not a great fell. Just a little few rocks people have put down there. Nothing really going on, although the views around fantastic again. And the area between Birks to Arniston Crag, see, even here you can't really see much of a path on OS. So you can see here on the other map that the GPX file was asking us to drop down here, and to be honest, there was sort of a path. It's like a wall, or rocks. It was like just rocks, but like half a wall, and it ran over a bit of a river. Although it doesn't look like there's a path there, there was sort of a path there, but I should have just went that way, to be honest, and followed the proper path. But we ended up joining on to the main one in the end, and yeah, up to Arniston Crag, the last Wainwright of the day. And that was a really good Wainwright. I said to Tom, that would have been a great fell to finish on, to be honest, if that was your last Wainwright. Very unexpected, sort of like a rocky plateau. It reminds me of ones we've done in the past. Yeah, really enjoyed that one, but just that knackered at the end of that route. As I was saying, from there, the car park's literally down below. Give me a bit of hope getting down there, because I knew it weren't that far, rather than going back to Glenridden. You've got a nice easy path going down, and you just cut through the back of that farm, which then leads onto the car park there. So you can see here now, they're listing this as a car park on the OS. Let's look at our stats. See the elevation profile. I've got a lot of ascent on that one. Ends up being 12.9 mile. The 36 Walks website was suggesting around 14 or something, so took a good mile off it there. And yeah, long day, you can see there, 9 hours, 11 minutes. The time moving was only 6 hours and 29 minutes, but you've got to take into account, you're doing a lot of stopping on like Stradin Edge, and we did take a few breaks. With it coming back into the warm season now, it was tough, man. The sun does take it out of you, and I actually ran out of water, so I had to drink some from a stream, so I had to take that into account for next time. All in all though, people, it's a really good walk, this one. And I was complaining in the video, but it's just that I've done that, basically most of that route many a times in the past. Before I got into the Wainwright bagging, and even Dom's first mountain was Helvellyn, and we went up Stradin Edge from that way. Sort of know that area like the back of my hand. I think if you've never done that, you'd love it, absolutely love it. Still another few Wainwrights in the bag that I hadn't done. As always, people, I'll link anything relevant in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.